Hello, everyone. It is Wednesday. Welcome to Wisdom Well Wednesdays. Today we have Astrology 101, Unlocking the Secrets of the Stars. So this is for anyone that's curious about astrology, a little bit about how it works and the basics, just to get you kind of excited about it and interested in looking into your own charts and people around you and stuff like that. It's going to be a good one. I'm excited to do this with you. Ever looked up and wondered if the stars influence your life? Let's unlock the wisdom of the universe and take the first steps towards understanding yourself on a deeper level. Discover the mysteries of your birth chart, explore the unique traits of each zodiac sign, and learn how planetary transits affect your journey. So, what is astrology? Astrology is all the planets and the stars, and usually it's taken from the time of your birth, and we can create a chart that tells us all about you, about your personality, about your emotions, your hopes and your dreams, your soul path forward, all of that good stuff. And then we can also take a look at past dates, present dates, future dates, and see how the current sky is actually affecting you as an individual. So it's a really, really cool, very, very old scientific way of looking through stuff about you and really discovering who you are and what makes you tick. So very basically, and there is a lot more to this, a chart is made up of signs, first and foremost. So there are 12 signs, and these are what we think of when we think of the zodiac, right? Like when we think of what star sign you are, right? So these go around in the circle. And then if you look on your chart, you're going to see slices of pie going around, and those are called houses. Those are the places where things happen in your life. So whatever is active or whatever sign that house is within tells us a little bit about your career or yourself, your relationships, your home life, your money, all of this stuff. The planets obviously go around in different orbits, and these influence, like the energy that they have influences also your sign and your houses. So they all kind of merge together. So that's how we get all these different individual people through the different makeups of all the different ways that a birth chart can look. We then have things called asteroids. Some people they use them, some people they don't. The one that I like to use is Chiron, and it's called the Wounded Healer. And I use this one a lot because a lot of people that I do readings for, they are quite spiritual and stuff. So this is going really core to like soul wounds or very deep traumas and stuff like that. Things that we've come into this life to heal for ourselves. That's a really, really interesting asteroid. But there's many, many, many of them, like hundreds and thousands of them. And some people probably do too many. Like there could be so many in a chart and it would just get confusing. So just, experiment with some of them, take the ones that resonate, take the ones that ring true to a majority of people that you read for, and then discard the ones that don't really feel like they add anything to your readings. Then we have something called aspects. Aspects are like shapes, I guess, on the chart. So you've got like squares. These bring in a more sort of negative undertone. That and things like oppositions and stuff where something is the opposite side of the chart from something else. And these literally obviously are oppositions to each other. They're like fighting against each other for dominance and influence. So you have things like that, and then you have like more favorable ones like trines, which is where they form triangles within your chart. Things like conjunct, where they're like next to each other. These can be really positive aspects, but there's so many again in those. And it also depends the degree that they are. So if they're the closer they are to 0 degrees, an exact degree, the stronger they are. And then different people will have different orbs, as we call them, for how big that can be. So some people will say no more than 4 degrees, other people will say no more than 6, some no more than 8. And sometimes that also depends on the planet or the asteroid or whatever it is involved in this, like trine or square or whatever. So again, this is something that if you are really serious about doing this, you just do trial and error and you see which ones work best for you and which ones, if you're reading for others as well, which ones you get the most positive feedback with. Now, usually people know their star sign, all right? That's called their sun sign when we're actually talking in astrology terms. So this is where the sun was at the moment of your birth. So most people will know what their sun sign is. And if they don't realize it's called a sun sign, it's their star sign, their zodiac sign. When you're in circles where people know a little bit about astrology, maybe they're really into it or they just, dabble, usually you're going to be asked, what's your big 3? So a big 3, if you're ever asked this, is your sun, your moon, and your rising, which is also sometimes known as your ascendant. So the sun is your personality, right? That's why we tend to know this one most, because this is who you are, right? This is I'm going to say ego, but not in like that bad way necessarily. Like it's the part of you that it's your personality, right? It is who you are at the core. So that's your essence, is your sun sign. Your moon sign is your emotional side. So these could be quite in line together, or they could be complete opposites, which is why you get some people that seem one way and then, if they confide in you, they're a completely different person because their emotional self is a lot more vulnerable, perhaps, or a lot more shut up, depending on what the opposite of their sun sign is. So you have that's more your instinctual responses to stuff. And then you have your rising sign. Again, it's sometimes called your ascendant as well. So this one is who you present yourself to the world. So it's who you are in your first impressions. So when you first meet someone, they're going to have an idea of who you are. And that is your rising sign. That's the thing that you put forward. So some of my clients, they have their sun and their rising are either the same or they are signs that are very, very close together, or they work really well together. So those kind of people are, this is me and this is truly me, and what you see is what you get. And then I have people that have completely the opposite. So the person that they present to the world is not really who they are on the inside, which is a lot of people as well, right? So this way, just knowing the big 3, like just knowing your sun sign, it tells you about that person. But if you just know the big 3, you get this kind of a lot deeper into what makes them tick and who they are at their core and who they are at their most vulnerable and who they are in their drive and their their growth and things like that. So just knowing these, you could just stop there and you would know people quite well. But obviously going deeper into astrology, you literally get such a beautiful picture of everybody and an understanding of everybody. So it is worth learning. But again, if you can't be bothered to learn, because it's a lot of work, if you can't be bothered to learn all of astrology, just learn the big 3 and you're better than most people, right? So what are the zodiac signs? We're going to go really briefly into this because, again, this is just an introduction, right? So we have 12 signs. Most people will know these signs. It starts with Aries, and this one is it's a fire sign, number 1. So it's all those kind of like element of fire. So when each of the signs, they have the element, air, fire, and water, right? And just knowing which sign has what element in it, it will literally help you understand a little bit more about the way they work and their personality. So Aries being fire, and it's that, that ram energy, right? So it's like very energetic, it's courageous, it's like go, 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 go kind of thing, right? Then you have Taurus, and that's more stable. It likes its home comforts. It likes finances and stability. It's also quite sensual as well. So it's like very much that comfort. And this one is an earth sign. So again, it's that security, right? Then we have Gemini. Gemini is curious, and it's about communication and thought. This is an air sign, right? So again, if you know something like tarot as well, this incorporates really well with that, how the minor arcana are elements too. It's the same kind of thing. It's the same way. So, if you have swords are air, then you've got, Gemini is an air sign, and it's like the sword card. So it's that kind of thing, right? Thought and communication. Then you have Cancer. Cancer is emotional, it's nurturing, it's very intuitive, and it is a water sign, right? And you see it went through the order, like none of those first four were the same element. And this literally continues like that throughout the 12. After that, we have Leo. Leo is the lion, even though it's a lion, is peacock energy, right? Like it's like, look at me, I'm here and I'm amazing. It's this kind of like flamboyance and confidence, charisma kind of thing. This is another fire sign. So like Aries, it's quite a force to be reckoned with, right? And then we come down again to Virgo, into the earth energy, like Taurus. Virgo is the mothering, and but it's also very detail orientated, right? It's a planner. So someone that likes to make lots of notes and planning and goal setting and stuff like that. It's probably something like a Virgo, perhaps. Going into air again, we have Libra. Libra is all about balance, because it's the only sign that's something that's not alive. Everything else is an animal or a person. Libra is a scale. And this is about balance and harmony, and just sort of like beauty and all this kind of stuff. It's like it's a really nice, gentle air sign. Going then into another water sign, we have Scorpio. This is kind of a dark, intense, transformative sign. So it gets a lot of bad press, this one, but it depends, one, on the other aspects within a chart, but also how they use their power, because they can be quite secretive, but that could mean that they're a really good confidant. Like you can tell these people your secrets and they will keep them for you, or they could be given all your secrets and then they just tell everybody, right? So it really does depend on the actual Scorpio person. Moving then into our last fire sign, we have Sagittarius. Sagittarius is the adventurer, loves to go out and see new people, new places, eat new food. Yeah, very philosophical and all this kind of stuff. So that's your adventure kind of one. Capricorn, like the other earth signs, is very disciplined and ambitious and very, very meticulous with like all of their things, and everything needs to be in an order. Another air sign, this one confuses people because it's Aquarius, which is the water bearer. So everyone sees this man tipping a jug of water and think it's a water sign, but it's actually an air sign, just to confuse everybody. This one's all about humanitarian efforts. So this could be someone that is an activist for something. So they're, animal rights or human rights or, climate or something like that. They're very, very strong in their opinions and need to tell people, like, to change the world, right? And then finally, our last sign is a water sign. This is Pisces. Pisces is artistic. It's kind of dreamy a little bit, right? It's that kind of like otherworldly kind of thing. And they're very, very compassionate as well. So that's a very, very brief lowdown on what the signs are. And so your sun sign, you would find which one of those is your sun sign, and that's your personality. Then which one of those is your moon sign, that's how your emotions are, things like that. Yeah. So then we go on to planets. Now, when we say planets in astrology, we do actually include the sun and the moon in that as well. So starting off with the sun is like that Leo energy and broad like Leo as well. So this is ourself, right? And who we are at the core. So again, like I was saying, the sun sign in the big three, this is who you are at your core. This is, this is you. Moon sign, like I said, is emotions and stuff like that. It's your raw instincts. Then we go to Mercury. Mercury is your communication and your thoughts and stuff like that. It's your intellect and how you process information. Venus, of course, is the planet of love. So that's what it is. It's love, it's beauty, it's your relationships or your values, especially in relationships. That's platonic and romantic. Then we go to Mars, which is all about your drive and your action and your forcefulness or lack of, depending what sign it's in or what house it's in, right? Jupiter is then your growth. It is your luck. It is that energy that propels you forward. And it's your abundance. It is the joy, right? And then Saturn, on the other hand, is more structure, it's more discipline. It can also slow you down. So where you've got Jupiter is your growth, Saturn can come in and just kind of like slow that down or hinder that. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. It could just be so that you have time to look things over a little bit better. So it's also can be to do with like past life lessons and stuff like that. Now, some people just go this far to Saturn and then that's it. And that's totally fine, especially when you're just learning. Perhaps you just want to stop at Saturn just because there's so much to learn. It might be easier just to start off with these planets. My teacher, for example, used to do anything and everything, and then he just got rid of all the things that didn't really resonate and literally now it just goes up to Saturn. So that's perfectly fine. The reasoning for not doing the other 3 planets would be because it takes them longer to change signs and to go around the zodiac completely. So you usually have like someone your age is probably going to have the exact same sign, the exact same sign for these planets as you do. So there's not very much room for individuality here. But what you can do if you do want to use them or you find it useful to use them is not so much look at the sign. Yes, look at the sign for the overall kind of feel of it, but look more at what house it's in because the house will be different for each individual. So whereas one thing is all about, struggles, is a generation of struggling, for example. But for one person, that is struggle with self-identity because it's in the first house, right? Another one, it might be in the 7th house. So it's struggle in relationships, especially very close relationships. The 4th house, it might mean that you have trouble in your home, especially your childhood home, this kind of thing, right? So you see how that kind of works. Just so that you kind of know, Uranus is all about change and unexpected events. It takes 7 years to go into a new sign, which is 84 years to go through the entire 12 signs. Neptune is your intuition, it's your dreams and your illusions and spirituality. This takes about 14 years to change signs, which is 165 years to go the entire zodiac. So do you see how the houses probably matter a bit more than the signs here? And lastly, Pluto, depending who you are, you might still think he's a planet, you might be thinking he's not a planet, but he is incorporated in a lot of people's charts. So he actually takes between 12 and 31 years, because so far out, it takes longer. So that can be around 248 years to do a whole return, as we call it. So yeah, so with these, if you're going to use them, by all means do. I would just advise to look more at the house than the actual sign itself. Moving then to something called transits. So transits is literally what's going on right now. It's ever moving in the sky above, right? So when we do your birth chart or your natal chart, that is taking like a picture, a snapshot of the sky when you were born, the exact moment that you were born. That's why astrologers ask for the time that you were born, because most of the planets and things will be the same. Your rising sign will definitely change, and your moon will change a few times during the day that you were born as well. So that's why we ask for the exact time. So if we can get the exact minute that you were born, then we can take a snapshot of the sky, and it tells us exactly who you are and how you tick, and your life mission and your career and your personality, your love life, your finances, everything. Again, just to say, that doesn't mean that we just tell you, or we shouldn't just tell you, this is who you are and suck it, really, like that's what you're stuck with. It should be a way of showing you why you think or you act in a certain way, so that you can understand before it becomes frustrating or before it becomes a block for you. It allows you to seek help or to course correct yourself before it becomes a problem. So it's nice and easy when you understand, oh, I have a moon in Cancer, so I can be super, super emotional. And so when you feel yourself getting super emotional over a movie or something really that isn't that bad, you can kind of be like, oh, that's my moon in Cancer. Okay, so what else do I have in my toolbox that can counteract that a little bit, because it's not appropriate, or I don't want to be in floods of tears over this movie right now, that kind of thing. It's a way of understanding yourself better and giving yourself some grace for that as well. But also as a way of understanding relationships in your life too, and how they tick and how and why they react to certain things, and how better to talk to them or ask them things so that it aligns better with the way that they process things, or that they can understand things better. So yeah, so transits, sorry, went off on a bit of a tangent. Transits can be, we can take dates from the past. That's what we're kind of doing anyway when we're doing your birth chart, right? And we can compare your birth chart to events that are past. We can do current life events. So we could do like today or this week or this month. That's where you get your horoscope and stuff like that, your predictions for the day or the week or the month ahead, right? From this kind of thing. Obviously, horoscopes in like a paper or online or something are very general to that individual sun sign. When you get an astrologist to do your particular chart, you get the way that all the planets and houses and everything interact with all your planets and asteroids and houses and everything within your own chart. So just because you're a Virgo and your friend's a Virgo and your mum's a Virgo and everybody around you is a Virgo, the planets and stuff on a certain date at a certain time are going to interact slightly different with each of you, because you have different places in your chart than each other. You just all so happen to have your sun in Virgo. Does that make sense? So yeah, so you can do future events as well. So say you want to move house, or you want to open your own business, or you want to know the best time to do something with your finances, or you want to get married. What would be the best time for that? And if you have a few dates that are available, say like the wedding venue only has this date, and this date, which one of those is the best time for you and your partner to get married? Right, so you would get both of your charts and put them on those dates and see which one would give you the best marriage, or the best wedding day at least, right? Oh, and yeah, and then you can obviously, do synastry charts, so you can get your partner or your child or your dog, and you can compare your charts and see how you interact together, how you don't, see if you're soulmates, see if you're not, all of this kind of stuff. Yeah, so there's so much you can do with astrology, and there's so much more, but I won't go into that right now because I am realizing the time. So how to get started with astrology? Obviously, there are so many astrologers out there. They all have different ways of doing it, different kind of charts, different ways of interacting with it, different ways of interpreting. So find someone that you resonate with, that you really like their style, or you just like their personality, and go with them. You can also do it online by yourself as well. There's so many websites, so many apps, and all of that kind of stuff out there that you can just go and you literally just type in your birth details, like the place, the time, and the date that you were born, and it will do up your chart. And a lot of these ones as well, they have generic but quite useful information on each of these, and you can just kind of read what interests you. It is kind of confusing, so if you do want to know a bit more, either ask somebody that knows, professional, or just someone that does it as a hobby, or read some books. There's so many books as well out there with so many different styles of astrology. Just find, again, a book that you really, really enjoy and just start reading those. So there's some really, really good ones out there. If anybody wants any recommendations, let me know. I'm happy to let you know people, books, places to do your charts, whatever you want, or what you might need to look for if you're looking for certain answers in your charts. So I just wanted to also tell everybody that since March the 20th this year, that's 2025 for those not watching it on the time that I released this, I started doing an astrology course. Yay! And now I'm doing case studies for that, so I'm really enjoying those. It's getting lots and lots and lots of amazing feedback from that. All that to say is what I've decided to do is I've decided to start up a new coaching client experience. So I'm already a coach, mainly in Akashic Records, but I'm also currently getting qualified in um, life coaching, manifestation coaching, NLP coaching, and one called master coaching. So I'm getting qualified in that as we speak, or if you're watching this many months from now, I'm already there. Yay. I'm also doing human design. I actually did an episode of this quite a way back. I think it was March, if you want to have a little look as what human design is. And so the idea is that I'm going to do a foundation 2 sessions where I do your astrology natal chart and I do your human design body graph. And that makes an introductory foundation for us. And then from there, we go into coaching. But it's coaching with the differences with those ones that I already mentioned, but then also adding in Akashic Records journeys as well as just the coaching, tarot cards, oracle cards, Reiki, all of these wonderful things are all going to be combined into this huge kind of experience for clients. So if that's something that interests you, pop along to my Facebook or my Instagram or the website for Celestyn Soulmaps. Yes, it's really, really lovely. So I am very, very excited to be starting that very soon. Once I've finished all of these case studies, I will be getting ready to do all that for you guys. So very, very exciting. Yay! As always, I thank you very much for joining me today. Please do like, subscribe, share, and do the notification. Next week is the power of kindness. We're celebrating Kindness Day with wisdom from time and space. So that's going to be quite an interesting one. I'm excited to do that one. So do join me next week for kindness. And until next week, have a wonderful, wonderful week ahead. Really look into your astrology. If you want to let me know your rising sun and moon, comment or just message me privately, and I would love to hear what you guys are. Or message me and ask me any questions on astrology or anything else that I do, and I'm happy to do that with you. All right. Have a great week, everyone. Bye for now.